Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show. This is the Arsenal edition. This is your host, Dean, and I am here as always with my wonderful friends. Gabby, how are you?
Not doing great.
And negativity is going to be live today. She finna crap out on me. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yep.
Coach, you seem to be in a slightly better mood. Line up looking sharp, beard all lined up, look, cheekbones on point. Yeah, come on, man. Take your hands out your face. Let the people see your face, bro.
I'm not doing good, man. I won't lie to you. I'm not
Look
doing
at this!
good.
Look at this side gimmick. He doesn't even do this side gimmick.
No, for real. Like yeah, it is what it is, man. Work
Yeah,
party on Friday. Work party on Friday. So yeah,
yeah,
that,
yeah.
that's literally the reason why I might be looking at an ounce sharper. So
Well, we're not really here to talk about your life, motherfucker. Let's talk about this Arsenal shit. It did not go well, because the basic truth of the matter is that we're a team that, for the foreseeable future and for the last 2 seasons, have been in title races. So it makes sense that every point dropped feels like a disaster. And while I can't fully subscribe to that in December of a season that ends in May, I don't like the idea that we're dropping points away to Fulham. This was one of the revenge fixtures this season,
Mhm.
and we did not get that revenge. But before we get into the details of the game, let's start where we always start, with the lineup. We started with Raya. Timber moved over to the left. Kivior, Saliba, number 5 at right back. Odegaard, Jorginho, Rice, Trossard, Havertz, and Saka. Gabby, I know you felt some kind of way when you saw this lineup. You were probably expecting a slightly stronger lineup than the one we got. You probably weren't mad at it, but what upset you about this lineup?
I I got caught. I got caught up in Mikel's lies this week. So he did his little press conference. I know it's crazy. It never happens.
A Jamaican woman
But
falling for lies. Where have we seen this before?
he said that Calafiori and Gabrielle had or short on their fitness, but they'd have a late fitness test to see if they were gonna make it um for the Fulham game, and they obviously didn't play the United game. And I was like, okay, if they didn't make it for the United game, maybe they're just resting them a little bit, and we just see if we make it through. And we obviously did because we won that game. And then I didn't see them either of them in the lineup, but I was like, that's not good. That's not good. I really do think we play completely different when Gabrielle's there to marshal the back line, and it felt like putting Kivior back at fullback would have been fine, but then you also put 5 at right back and you switch Timber onto the other side, and I was like, I don't think this is gonna work, but we'll see. Don't think
Yeah,
this is gonna work, but we'll see.
yeah, I had similar feelings. Coach, remember back in the day when I forget who went missing from the lineup. I think it was maybe one of the first Gabby Jesus injuries. Back when he was
Mhm.
actually good. And people were like, well, why did you just replace him with Eddie instead of bringing in, I forget who else was at the club at the time that, people felt like it could change maybe 2 things instead of changing 1 thing to get a better quality team
Mhm.
as a starting 11. Here, I feel as if Mikel kind of went against his own, I only want to make one change or make as few changes as possible
Mm.
with the choices made with this lineup. Do you feel similarly, or am I being a little after the fact analysis here?
No, no, it was my biggest worry was breaking up that right hand side. That's what I didn't want to happen, regardless of the injuries and whatnot. Just that rhythm we have of Timber, Saka, Odegaard. That should be enough for today. If for nothing else, that should be enough. And the fact that we broke it up, I just didn't like it. And the funny thing is, we didn't actually really feel it per se until when we did, basically. But that was my main concern. Don't break up that right hand side because that's where the money is, basically. And we did. So in regards to the rest of the lineup, I said to you in the group chat I would like to have seen Marino start today. But again, not too mad at it. Still not convinced he's ever been 100% fit this season at any point, to be honest. But yeah, apart from that, it is what it is. Zinchenko not being fit as well, I just had to laugh to myself. Like, what's the actual point? Like,
I
literally,
saw
what's the actual point?
I can't lie. I saw somebody call him a tampon on my timeline. 1 week in and 3 weeks out is just crazy. That's wild.
Yeah.
Did y'all get that? That's some good banter right there. 1 week in and 3 weeks out. That nigga a tampon. Like, bro, at least a tampon is useful. I know what it does. Like,
Yeah.
Zinchenko, I don't know what he does anymore, to be honest with you. Like, when he's out there, I will say in the United game, we kind of gave him shit during the joint pod. I let it pass because there was a lot to say, and it was two sets of fans from two different teams. I thought he actually played well in that game, but this is the issue with him. His calves are made out of Swiss cheese. He plays 60 minutes and he's done. So I wasn't surprised to not see him, but I was definitely frustrated. Before we get into nitty gritty, what might we have done instead? Like with what we had today, with the full lineup we had, what do you guys think we should have done, at least with the back line?
So here's my thing. I get the last time MLS played was against Mohamed Salah, but he would have been up against, as much as I love him, he would have been up against Alex Iwobi playing on his strong side. Kind of, they both would be playing on their strong side. So I think I would have liked to have seen that because, genuinely speaking, I just can't get over the right side. There was no need to break it up, man. Like there was no need to break it up. And
It's the only thing that's functioning in this team right now, that right side.
basically, yeah. On the ball, at least, anyway. I think it's the most well-oiled part of the team, and you just broke it up. It's just if you play MLS there, okay. Like Arsene Wenger says, okay, you pay with points if that's the case. But we paid with points by going with experience anyway today. So I would have just
We normally do.
yeah, I would have just liked to have seen that. Just keep that theme of playing your fullbacks on their strong side. That would have been probably my only change. So yeah.
I think we had, 3 right footers on the left side today?
Fucking disaster.
Yeah.
I hate that so much.
Yeah.
Like I hate that so much. This is a guy whose first purchase on loan when he took over the club was, I believe, Pablo Mari.
Yeah.
Because he refused to have a build-up that didn't have a left-footed left center back. So for him to sort of abandon that and just, maybe it's that he felt we could do Fulham without having our full structures in place, and we probably could have on a different day. Like if we're going to talk about the goal that got disallowed at the end, but if that goes in, the tenor of this entire podcast is different. It's so different, because honestly, the overall performance, while we didn't create enough, I would say we dominated so much. Like Fulham scored that goal, and that was it. Can you think of another moment in that game where Fulham
Yeah.
did anything?
When Jorginho was running in sand, but that was their first.
Oh my God.
No, but listen. That was their first shot since the goal. Can
Right.
you imagine? And that was in I think that was
Yeah,
around
but that's.
around
I feel like that's what we always say about Arsenal, though, is it not? Like the one shot, one goal always goes against us. Always.
But this is what I'm saying. To be honest, right, Dean, are we into it now already, or
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, like the first 10 minutes of the game, I was like, okay, this is exactly what I want to see. Basically, suffocate them, keep pummeling them, and let's get a goal. And then the
We
moment
had very different reactions, but go on.
the moment they got the ball, I was like, oh shit. The pass before Tete made, I was like, they've actually played it around us really, really well. And now Jimenez has a run. So before Tete has even got the ball, I'm looking at thinking, shit, okay, Jimenez got the run now, but what are we going to do about it? And they do what all good players do. They go to the weaker side of your defense. Like, it's clear. Like, Kiwior is a good squad player, but you know the difference between a first choice centre-back and a third and potentially fourth choice centre-back. You just know it. That's just the harsh reality of having a squad, basically. But he's got the run on him. And I was like, oh, this is a goal. Like, I just felt it because we had dominated so much. We didn't, I think we had maybe 1 or 2 shots, but Fulham had not completed any passes in the final third. We completed 29 passes in the final third, and they go and score with 1 pass. In fact, it wasn't even the final third they made that pass. He made that pass from the halfway line.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, when that happened, I was just like, that's literally why we love football. That's unfortunately for us, but that's why we love football, because shit like that can happen. So
let's rewind a bit. Gabby, Coach said he liked the way we started. I agree with that. I thought we started well. I texted the group chat and I was like, okay, we got them under pressure. They're in their own half. We're controlling the game immediately. We've already had people freaking out because of the set pieces already. But literally at the 10-minute mark, they score. How did you feel about the way we began the game?
I actually didn't like it. I understand why you guys like thought we were dominating and everything, but I have every time I watch Arsenal play like this, I just knew. I wish I could show you the screenshots in my group chat because I knew exactly how we were going to concede, and that's exactly how he scored. Um, I was watching it and I was just like, this feels very possession for possession's sake, and we're doing this like flicks and trying to get like corners and like passing a lot, but we're not being like actually decisive in like shooting the ball. And I was like, they're gonna go down and score on their first shot, and that's exactly what happened. And I was like, I fucking knew it. Like I know they do this all the time. They do this all the time. It was
I,
not shocking to see us concede that first goal.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. I'm not subscribing to that whole idea that Arsenal are playing for corners. Like, let's nip that in the bud
No, no,
right
no. I
now.
don't think we're like. I don't think we intentionally play for corners, but I think that like sometimes we were like, I can't see the pass in the inside, so like if we get the corner, then that's fair enough.
But that's the thing. Like, we know Arsenal like to attack down the wings. That's our thing. Central progression for us has been a talking topic for ages. When we have it and when we do well with it, it's mainly because five is at the base of our midfield and we do it as good as anyone in the league, if not the best kind of thing. But the idea that Arsenal dominating a team, and to be honest, we left gaps kind of thing. That's what you kind of have to do when the team's playing a 5-4 fucking one. Like, you leave gaps, and unfortunately, like that's the risk that you run. Now, them going and scoring their first attack, like I said, that's why we love football kind of thing. But I'm not mad at us showing that ambition because it could have easily been a very meek sort of start and said, okay, let's feel it out a little bit. And then before you know it, it's a wet, windy night in West London and Fulham have got the wind behind them now kind of thing. And now you're fighting for your life because you haven't actually tried to assert yourself into the game. So I'm not mad at us probing, like looking for an opening. That's what you kind of have to do in these situations. On top of the fact that, look, I'm probably going to have to repeat this a couple of times during this pod, but we're in the middle of a run right now where it's every 3 days. The players are training maybe twice a week, like right now, maybe because the games are just essentially it's thick and fast. Players are getting fitness during actual games kind of thing. So us being a little bit patchy, a little bit stodgy kind of thing, I want us to be better, but I'm just not surprised. It's right now, this is by a million miles the hardest part of the season. This is arguably the hardest part of Arteta's career so far, if we're being honest, because of the expectation weighed with how much quality he has, weighed with how well everyone else is doing as well. So these sort of situations, the result today has really done my head in, but I just have to give a tiny bit of grace for the whole picture of it. I wished we won today, and I wished we did more in open play kind of thing. But just looking at the whole picture, it's very, very difficult for my head to completely go. It's just the Saka non-goal is what's
All right, that's enough
done
from
me.
you, coach. That's fucking enough. Let's talk about Kivior right now. Because I don't want to place blame on anyone for the goal, but if someone has to take the bulk of the blame, Gabby, I think it's your boy Polish Sigan. It just feels as if I think the real issue, like, he's not as pacey as I thought he was going to be when I was watching the scouting videos from Syria. And from a dual physicality standpoint, he gets beat too often, and I think that's what cost us on the goal. That goal never even comes to fruition if he wins the first header. You know, the ball drops, then it gets played around a bit, then it gets played around him. He's not fast enough to get there. Saliba maybe wasn't aggressive enough because we've seen Saliba do that sliding tackle a bunch of times where a striker thinks they have it, and he almost kind of slowed down right before Jimenez took the shot. But in any event, let's put the focus back on Kivior. Coach said earlier, it's normal to expect that the fourth center back in the team is not going to be ideal, but where do you view his future? Do you think he's someone that's probably leaving this summer?
I said we should have sold Kivior in the summer, and I love Kiwi, but it was so obvious that, and we had suitors for him. I think AC Milan came in for him or someone else. Um, it's so obvious he's not suited for the Premier League. He's just not. And to be playing for a team that wants to go for big trophies like Arsenal, like he's a little bit below the level. He can come in and do a job like he did against United, or he did last season, but he hasn't really found his place because he's not good enough to start. He's not good enough to displace a Saliba or a Gabriel. or even the second choice like Ben White or Timber or Calafiori, and where Arteta is playing him, you're playing in a position where you just cannot make a mistake, because when you make a mistake, it just ends up being a goal, just like a goalkeeper, which is what we said about Aaron Ramsdale.
Right.
And when I watched the goal go in, I was like, Kivier's going to get blamed for this, and he should. But I was watching and I was just like, he needs extra help on that side, and it's so obvious he needs extra help on that side. Gabriel is we've been so spoiled at Gabriel like running like marshaling that side, because he's good on the outside and on the inside, and he's a really aggressive defender. He rarely ever loses his duels. And I think that my harshest criticism on Kivior is not even just like pace or like physicality. It's not that. It's more his awareness. His awareness, because I think he thought that he was gonna like check the run of Jimenez, like he would be able to like watch the flight of the ball and like cut it out before he gets to him, which he does later on in the game. But Jimenez was so clever with the way that he checks his run behind him and goes in behind. And Saliba's smart, and he has to check over. But by that time, the damage is already done. And you can see it happens over and over again later on to Kivior after the goal. Like, there's an Emil chance where Kivior doesn't know where he is at all. Emil goes in behind him, and he is not at all aware to his like surroundings. And if Emil has a better touch, maybe that's at least a shot on goal, if not a goal. And I'm just like, yeah, it's not the physicality, it's more the awareness. Like, he doesn't have his football IQ level is not as high as it needs to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. I think there are similarities between what happened with this goal and the goal Liverpool scored to equalize against us at the Emirates. In that he takes the wrong line running. He doesn't seem aware of his surroundings and who's around him. But to not end it on a completely dour note, even though this result wasn't great. Coach, what is Kivier's best quality now that you've seen him for a while? We've seen enough of him to decide, okay, this is what the player is. What do you actually like about him?
It's definitely with the ball at his feet. That much I'm sure of. Like, he's a really good passer. And he's a brave passer as well. But I think more than anything as well, I think what kind of goes against him is it's just genuinely his demeanor. He doesn't look like a confident person. He doesn't give confidence just with his demeanor, which is unfortunate. Some people are just, not in a rude way, but some people are just meek. So that's how some people are, And I know for a fact that he isn't, because you're not going to be a top level footballer if you don't have some sort of personality and whatever. But in comparison to others, put it like this, I'd say Gabriel is straight up a lion. You know what I mean? He's a lion. He's a gorilla of sorts, kind of thing. And
He's a
That felt a little bit racist, but go on.
The way we say it here, Coach, use the correct terminology. Gabriel is an ape in a nursing home. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically a mismatch. He's an ape in a nursing home. He's a mismatch everywhere he goes, kind of thing. But Kiwior is more of a water buffalo. He's like a gentle giant. Like, he's big. He has these qualities and whatnot, kind of thing. But a lion is gonna eat a water buffalo, basically. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's why I feel like he's just unlucky in that regard. But yeah, definitely all his best qualities come to me on the ball. He's decent in the air as well. But yeah,
Fairs. Let's talk a little bit about our response to going down 1-0. I don't think we sustained pressure, but we didn't create enough open attacks. We didn't create enough shots on goal. However, there were some good moments. And shockingly enough, given the fact that we had essentially broken up the right side a little bit, but we clearly were focused on the right side. That's where we wanted to generate everything from. I feel as if the best moments for us in that first half came from the left side, where Trossard played this lovely ball into Rice's path, and Rice took it pretty early with his left foot. On a different day, he scores that, or maybe he takes a few more touches and he gets closer and he scores it. But I thought that was a really fantastic effort. There was also the moment when Saka cut into the box from the right side naturally. He had Bassi on him in this moment, not Anthony Robinson, who played pretty well. And he beat Bassi, then cut back onto his weak foot, then crossed it, and it got cleared.
No. That was a shot, actually. Lennon saved it.
Yeah, I feel as if it went another couple yards,
Mm,
Havertz taps it in.
mm,
It felt like it was one of those cross shot type
mm.
situations. But Gabby, did you think we responded well to Fulham's goal?
I think I still do think that we were playing like possession for possession's sake. We were holding on to the ball well. Fulham didn't really get a sniff on the ball the rest of the half. Um, but we weren't dangerous. Like I didn't feel like we put them under that back line or specifically Leno under pressure like we were peppering their goal or anything like that. Um, I think we were doing the thing where we do like the like kind of incisive passes where we're being very patient, but I was looking for urgency. I felt like we were holding on to the ball a little bit too long, taking some extra touches. I think we were at our best when we were going over them. When I saw them putting crosses into the box, and it like you talk about the Declan Rice moment, but there's also a moment where I think I can't remember if it was Trossard or
It was
Saka.
Saka that crossed it in, and he's just missed it by like half an inch.
Yeah, yeah, like those are the moments I was like, we need to start going over them because we're trying to like ticky taka around them, and they're like so compact that we just can't do that. And we were getting joy when we were going above them, like over them, but it like the balls were just a little like half a centimeter off or something like that every time,
Yeah,
which picked up in the second half a little bit.
yeah. So, despite Anthony Robinson's decent performance going up against Saka, I thought Saka was still the standout of our attackers, as he often is in very many games. However, the other two guys in the attack, I thought, well, I'm not tar them with the same brush. I would say Havertz had probably his worst game of the season today.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as if, Coach, I mean, you tend to be able to observe this shit a little bit better than me, but I feel as if it almost felt like a physical issue because he was so weak in his duels. He was falling over constantly. His touches were sloppy. On the other hand, Trossard, for me in that first half, and even going on until he got substituted, outside of the moment where he did this stupid ass dummy that led to a Fulham counter, I thought this was maybe, despite the fact that there was no end product, I thought this was maybe his best performance of the season.
I agree.
And I was frustrated when he got substituted, to be honest with you. What did you make of those two? Gabby, you can get in after coach on this if you want to.
I'll start with Trossard. I'll be honest. There was times in that first half, much like Emil Smith Rowe, I forgot he was playing. That was my observation of it. Like genuinely, like when someone said, "Oh yeah, Smith Rowe isn't having a good game," I was like, he's not. He's playing like, and the same thing for Trossard. Trossard, when he got the ball in that first half, it was a shock to me because it was just like, wow, like we actually have a third attacker. That's crazy. With that being said, he worked very hard, and I know it sounds like a diss. It sounds like a diss. I know he
Yeah.
worked very hard, so I'll give him that.
So by default, like, don't go to the Havertz thing yet
Yeah,
because I feel as if Gabby and I feel differently about this.
yeah,
So when you're done with Trossard, throw
yeah.
it to Gabby and let's see what she has to say about it.
So with Trossard, right? He created a chance for Declan Rice, and he tried to go on the outside a couple of times, kind of thing. But he's
Good,
rolling.
good cross to Saka. A cross to Saka that Saka skied. That was
Yeah,
a good
yeah,
cross. That should
yeah.
be a
It was.
goal.
Yeah, that's one time he went on the outside as well. So here's my thing, right? You're in the team primarily, right? Especially when you're starting like that, you're essentially like, I wouldn't say he's our primary scorer when the ball's on the other side, but he kind of is because Havertz, for all intents and purposes, especially when he's playing like this, it's just whatever kind of thing. But Trossard is a great finisher, so I needed to see more of him just committing defenders by making dangerous runs. Even if the ball doesn't get to you, get them thinking about it. He just spent way too much time outside the box for my liking. Way too much time. The ball is circulating on the right hand side, and you're holding the width. Arteta said it last week before he said that it's not an instruction for me. I don't tell the wingers to stay wide when the ball's on the other side. They need to be getting these into the box. That came from Arteta's mouth, kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, Gabby, you can talk about.
I actually really agree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. I think that Chassard, well, that's been the problem with the left wing the last basically season and a half. Um, it's frustrating to not have the movement that we need.
Mhm.
Chassard was being very much a creator today. He was just not in the box as he should or as he normally is to like score a tap ins or get on the end of crosses or like shoot something. He was trying to get balls in for other people. My biggest frustration was Trossard today. which I actually thought he played well, was him dribbling into traffic. He does the thing where he wants to hold on to the ball for too long and dribble into traffic when you can just make the simple pass. You don't need to dribble past five players and then like try to get into the box. Like, relax.
Yeah, he also can't do that shit. He don't got that in his bag. I've been watching that
He
motherfucker for
does
a
not.
long time. Like, it's the
Yeah.
He
Patrick
doesn't
Ewing
have the
meme.
quality for it.
Step back, one-legged three-pointer. Why they do that at? Like, nah,
You don't have
he
the
ain't got it.
facilities for that big
You
man.
do not. You do not have the nutrients, my brother.
Oh.
Go on, coach.
No, I'll say on Havertz now, and this is gonna sound very, very harsh, but I could easily sell him tomorrow right now. That's the way I feel. And not feel a thing. Now, this isn't me being dramatic. It's my whole issue with bottom level performances kind of thing. Your baseline cannot be that low. Now, obviously, I'm not saying I'm gonna sell Havertz kind of thing. It's just that in the moment I was just fuming, but like genuinely speaking, your bottom level cannot be that low. It just cannot.
Yeah.
At the very least, you need to be elbowing these centre backs in their face. These guys are not scared of you. They're taking the piss out of you. They're taking the actual piss. They're like, he's not on it today. And the thing is, centre backs are not stupid. The team's not stupid. They know what a good Havertz looks like. He's chasing everything down. He's backing into guys. He's making life just difficult, even if he's not going to score. It was almost like Newcastle all over again for the centre backs. Easiest game of the season. You wasn't occupying them at all. You wasn't really doing anything. And it's like it's so hard for Arsenal to build and sustain attacks, even though we were, when our actual genuine box presence is doing fuck all. You know, and I'm not digging out Havertz saying that he's not good enough, blah, blah, blah. However, today he simply wasn't good enough. And I'm scared that this is what it's going to look like when Havertz doesn't play well for most of his Arsenal career. When Havertz doesn't play well, Havertz still needs to be contributing one way or the other. He didn't contribute anything today, guys. One meek shot in the second half. It was bad. Like, it was just very, very bad. And go on.
I will say, like, to put into context, because we all love Kai on this pod. To put into context how bad Kai played today, Arteta took him off, and Kai never comes off.
Yep.
Never.
Yep.
Like,
never comes off.
Gabby Jesus.
like,
Gabby Jesus
like,
And
never
my
comes
head
on.
was on Pluto, but that's another story.
I'm over here thinking to myself, like, you know what? We wouldn't be doing too bad to try Gabby Jesus today.
Yeah.
And as much as I've had patience for Gabby Jesus to find his form again after all the knee injuries and all that, I've never had that thought this season. You know, like, I'm always like, let's just ride it out, see what happens, you know. So the fact that the manager saw it, we saw it, and we ended up subbing the guy off, that suggests that was a stinker of a performance from him.
It was
definitely
bad.
beneath the level. One more individual focus before we move on to the second half. Odegaard. What do we make of his performance today? I think it was below his levels. There were good moments here and there. You know, he's too talented.
I'll let you be a hater today.
Stinker. But I didn't really see it for him today, Gabby.
I really do think this is one of his worst performances too. Like, not even just like this season, just in an Arsenal shirt, because he just looked very, like, obviously he's always going to get, no matter like how he's playing, no matter what his form is, he's always going to get a lot of the ball. And he got a lot of the ball today, but he just didn't look on it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how to describe it. He just didn't look on it. Taking extra touches, did not want to shoot. There's a moment where I was like, why did you not shoot there?
Yeah.
He like gets into the box and I'm just like, you didn't even put your foot through. Like, you just, I don't know if it was indecisiveness or he's not feeling, because he came off for Ethan later on. I was like, maybe he's not like fully fit or something, but he just is like, he didn't trust his own body. I don't know.
You know, maybe he just went through labor with his wife. You know, he had that son. You know,
Listen,
maybe that's
crying
what-
baby will keep you up. I'll tell you that.
There was a moment where he got the ball early in the second half, and the ball came from the right side. I don't know if it was Saka or number 5 that passed it to him. And he did this thing that had me yelling. I yelled to my brother was asleep. He woke up. I yelled so loud.
Oh, the
The
flick.
ball came to him, and instead of, no, not a flick.
Oh.
It was just his body orientation. You could tell from the moment he saw the ball coming to him to the moment he got rid of the ball. At no point did it occur to him that I can open my body up onto my strong side and do something, take a shot, find a pass in the other direction. He had decided before the ball came to him that it's going to go back out that way. It's like, but the goal is this way, my nigga. Like, you don't scare people when you play around them often, you know, especially if the game isn't going the way it's going, you know. And same thing with Havertz is like, bro, you're not even threatening these motherfuckers. Like when the ball comes to you, they know you're not about to do shit because they can tell from your passive.
It's this recycled gene that we have. Like, we talked about this many a time on the pod where I thought for sure it was like Arteta instruction to like, they look scared to hold on, like to let go of the ball. They look scared to lose the ball. And I was like, you cannot be scared to lose. You just can't be like, you can't play like that. You have to want to win, and to want to win, you have to do specific things. You have to be more decisive in your action. Yeah. And when you're putting the onus on your teammates to like, I'll get the ball out of my feet so you guys can do something. It's like, yeah, but you're supposed to be the guy. You're supposed to be the guy. You have this. Arteta has decided that Havertz is our striker now. Odegaard is our main man. Like the only person who's, in my opinion, who's been really decisive in the last few weeks is Saka. He's the only guy who's been really decisive in the last few weeks, and he's upped his level to show that. And everyone else is so far beyond the level. Like I'm like, I need you guys to raise it. You're not going to be Saka. Saka's like world class right now, but like you guys we all know you have a higher level than this. This is like, I don't even know what this is.
Yeah. So, Coach, you mentioned, the schedule. So do you think is that what we're basically witnessing when these players that we trust and we love, they're not really playing to the level?
Yes and no, because you have to remember as well, we took off Odegaard as well, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Let's get to it now. We're talking about Odegaard. This is where we're doing it.
But in regards to Odegaard, I slightly disagree with the fact that Saka's been underperforming, because we spoke about how well he's been since he came back, and that second half against United as well, coupled with Lisbon, coupled with West Ham, coupled with Nottingham Forest as well. Like Odegaard has been great. The issue is that Odegaard, to me, and me and Dean have probably criticised him I won't say a bit too much, but criticised him enough on this.
It's not enough.
I would say Dean just a bit too much.
It's the fact that he's not committing players enough, and he's not shooting enough. Now, I'm not saying
not shooting enough.
No, I'm not saying be Crash Bandicoot with it and just be a complete idiot, but
like Bruno.
Sometimes just test. Yeah, sometimes just test the keeper a bit, kind of thing. Even if you don't get it on target, kind of thing. Now you're potentially buying your teammates an extra half yard because they're closing you down rather than closing the space for the pass for that play. So I'm saying is that little nuances like that. I just feel like doubt plays a huge role in football, by the way, like for attackers and defenders, kind of thing. Like Saliba's a master of doubt. Like your first tackle lets you know that you're not getting anything today, and the doubt is in an attacker's head for the whole 90 minutes. And the same thing goes for actual attackers as well. The moment you beat a man, kind of thing, like Saka did today with Robinson, kind of thing. Robinson was still aggressive, but he knew like, okay, Saka can beat me today, and he's going to beat me again, kind of thing. Just little things like that aren't happening enough for me from everyone, but Odegaard obviously in particular, he doesn't shoot enough. He doesn't, the unpredictability of his game, he's not utilising enough considering how well he manipulates the ball, and it's frustrating. You've got all the ability. We know how well he can strike a ball. He scored 15 fucking goals for us. Like,
it is frustrating.
No pens as well, kind of thing. Like, so yeah, but he might have been a little bit injured. There was a tackle on him that he looked a little bit, he was walking a little bit gingerly afterwards. But yeah, I think taking the Odegaard off when we're chasing the game, kind of thing, it's not like it hasn't happened before, but I think, yeah, the schedule definitely plays a role. It has to play a role.
I don't know. I feel like my last little thing about Odegaard is today was one of the first times in a while that I was watching Odegaard, and I felt like this is very Özil-esque performance when he's not playing well. Like when Özil wasn't playing well, he would just he would get the ball a lot, but not. You get in positions and you're just like, why are you not shooting? Like, I need you to lead your team in a way that you're telling everybody when you get the ball, look to try to score. If you're not shooting, then you should be looking to pass it incisively so somebody else can take a shot. And I was just like, we're taking a lot of extra touches for no reason. Yeah. Taking a lot of extra touches for no reason, and it's spreading all over the place. But I don't want to hear about the schedule. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't want to hear about the schedule because every other team in the Premier also has that schedule.
Yeah, they do. Apart from one other team, funny enough, one team has one whole team for the Conference League and a whole different team for the Premier League. Like that's no, but it's fact. There's players that I forgot that they had. That legit, I forgot that they were even at the club, and they're playing them in the Conference League. Like these players are essentially playing one game. Yeah, like I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, where the hell did these guys come from? So what, like, I'm sorry, like the schedule is playing. Like if we're gonna say the schedule is not playing a role, then that's just a straight up lie. It absolutely is because I'm of a
I'm not
position
saying it's
where
not playing a role, but it's
it,
not.
She just doesn't want
It
to hear
can't.
it.
I don't think you could. Yeah, you can't. I can't say that it's affecting us more than it's affecting all the other big teams as well. You know,
put
like
that.
Liverpool. You don't see a drop in Liverpool. Like they're playing with the same schedule as us.
So Liverpool's performances haven't been that convincing. They just have Mohamed Salah, guys. Like I just want us to be clear on that. Like
Very
Liverpool
good.
are doing well. They're doing exceptionally well. But let's make no mistake about it. One Salah Hammy kind of thing, and everything looks different. And I feel like we're over egging, and we're probably underestimating just how difficult it is to pull away. Because I feel like most Arsenal fans want us to pull away in the league kind of thing. It's just going to be very very hard to do that. Kind of, it's just very.
To be fair, I'm not one of those. I don't want to support. I don't like playing from in front because
No, but
Arsenal has shown they can't do it.
it's just a hard thing to do kind of thing. Like put it like this, right? Arsenal haven't played with Calafiori in what 2 weeks now. We've played without Gabriel for 2.5 games now, kind of thing. But that's all been in 1 week. That sounds like a very long time. So imagine how much more taxing it is on the players. I personally, I don't know if you guys agree with this. I would love for us to rotate against Monaco because I don't want to play Everton with their tails up after winning 4-0 and having a whole almost 2 weeks off by the time we play them kind of thing, and us looking a bit leggy because we've overexerted ourselves in Europe. I'm sorry, you bring the changes for Monaco. I'll take a draw at home. Like that's the way I feel. I want us to win, but the way I see it, prioritizing the Premier League right now to make sure our players are fresh for the Premier League, that's what that matters to me right now, you know?
All right, let's talk some second half stuff because that's where Arsenal actually did things that that registered on the scoreboard. But before we get to that particular bit, Coach, why does number 5 go into the box for corners if he's going to do this every fucking time? Against United, there was a shoulder bullshit. Today, it was an open header that he missed. That should have been, I believe,
It should have been 2-1.
that should have been 2-1. So we skipped ahead a bit, but
Yeah.
what's the deal here, man? We've seen him score in those situations before, like before the whole Your visual dynasty took over. But what's going on, man?
I just think Arsenal's set pieces are so good that anyone can score from them basically, and we've seen that everyone's like, oh yeah, if Gabriel's
Except
not there,
that bum.
yeah, but it's like everyone's there like, oh yeah, if Gabriel's not there, like Arsenal won't score kind of thing. The delivery number one is the most important thing. It's the delivery from both right and left side are just incredible. But the way we set up our wall and the way we set up our runs kind of thing means that anybody is a suspect if you like.
Right.
You know? So, and I feel like not everyone might be ready for that. Hence why he's not, he might not be expecting to score kind of thing. Like Saliba missed one in the first half as well, but he went for it at least.
Right.
You know,
and you can't even put this motherfucker as one of the like when you set up for a corner kick or a set piece in the other team's half, usually have like a ring of 3 to 4 guys that sort of are blocking for the counter. But because this motherfucker's hamstrings are made out of banku, you can't do shit with him. You can't, so you have to put him. And he's also one of the taller players. And it's like, bro, if the ball's gonna lance you, please do something with it. Like that's the whole point. That's why we do this fancy setup. That's why our fans have started chanting about set pieces and shit. That's why people are criticizing us or giving us backhanded compliments in the media because we're supposed to be good at this. So there's no point in doing all that if at the moment of truth you're gonna fumble. But we've said enough about that. Let's talk about the actual goal. Yet another great delivery from Declan Rice, who, by the way, over the last, let's call it week, I would say since the Lisbon game, essentially has started finding his form again. He's looking more like himself. And it hasn't really necessarily required him being moved back to the 6. So I thought maybe that's where we would have to get him up to speed before we put him back at left 8. But I thought he was pretty good today for the most part, outside of not providing the end product in the moments where he could have in the first half with the shot and the not getting to the Saka cross. But he crosses the ball in. Who heads it back across?
Havertz.
Who should score, by the way? Who should score? That should piss me off. And Saliba doesn't use his ass because, that's only for United. Very special. Gabby, I don't know, man. I can't even be truly happy about this set piece thing because it's as good. I like that we have that in our bag, but it's a source of concern for me because I've heard a lot of neutral people say it's something we're relying on too much. And given the result today, they might be right. Where do you stand on this?
It's definitely becoming a bit of a crutch for us.
Pause.
Our what?
Pause on crutch.
I'm sorry, man.
On crutch?
I'm sorry, man. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules.
Listen, man.
What's wrong with him?
I don't know if you've been hanging out with Mark
This,
Daisy, but you need
this
to deal with
man
that
said
shit, man.
Gabrielle was a gorilla, but he's pausing on crutch. You're ejected. You can't get out of here.
That was flagrant. My bad.
yeah. Love it.
I do think it's becoming a bit of that, because I feel like we're looking to break the game open with that. It should just be one thing, that a certain aspect that's part of our game, but not the only thing that our game is about. And the way that we're playing in open play right now is just so methodical and predictable, and not, it's just genuinely like there's no X factor about it. And I'm just like, well, they might be shitting their pants when we get a set piece, and sure, we're scoring them a lot right now, but it won't always be like that. What if we have a game where we play just like this against Fulham, and we get set pieces and we don't score, so we just don't score? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's very. I kind of wish almost that we weren't good at this, because then you would have to do something to actually change something in the way that we play. I don't know if that's a different player playing. You know, a lot of people were calling for Ethan earlier, but you have to change something. Mikel has to tweak something. That's what I was begging him to do at halftime. I was like, I don't know what he wants to do, and I don't even know how to technically change this because of what we have on the bench right now. There's a reason that Mikel's not playing Moreno, and I don't think it's like just tactical. I don't think it's tactics. I do think it's because of he's maybe not full fit to play 90 minutes, but he has to change something.
I offered a theory on that. I'm coming to you next, Coach. But the Marino thing, I actually think he's fit. I think he's been fit for at least a week or two. I just think the issue is that it's just about how people were integrated into the team at the beginning of the season. Marino missed preseason. Then when he got there, Gabriel murdered him. Then he had to recuperate from that shit with the shoulder injury. And as a result, the time in which he should have established himself in what because we don't really have a starting lineup. Our backline has been too unstable to have a starting lineup this season so far. But the time that Marino was supposed to sort of use to bed into the team ended up being the time that the manager used to get 5 back up to speed. And now that he has that motherfucker back up to speed, he's going to keep relying on him because he's one of the few players he can actually rely on. Technically, as much as I hate to admit it, he might still be our best midfielder so far, overall performance this season. Even with some of the errors that we've seen and the misses and all that, I think his level of performance compared to his, I wouldn't call them competition, his colleagues in that department, Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, who missed like 8 weeks, Marino, who had to come back from injury, Declan Rice playing with a broken toe, 5 has been pretty consistent. So I just feel as if that hierarchy has been set, and as a result, he's sort of using Marino as more of the Rice backup. Like when we need that big space eater, you come and play, or when we need to rest Rice, you come and play. But you're not quite the starter yet, and I hope that changes later in the season. But that's how I view it. Coach, at what point are we ever going to see the midfield that we all sort of imagined would be the midfield this season? The Declan Rice at the 6, Marino at the 8, Odegaard at the other 8.
See, this is why I think second half of the season is just our opinions and our mood and everything else is gonna change so much, because this team right now is just simmering. Like, they're not quite, even with the recent good results, we're still kind of simmering kind of thing. But that midfield to me sounds like a midfield that we're gonna play probably away at Anfield. Do you know what I'm saying? Like or who else have we got a big away? Fuck, we played everyone, innit?
The last one, we've played our big away game.
Yeah.
Old Trafford is the other one, but honestly, we're doing them too much credit by even mentioning them as a big.
Yeah, but you think, but that midfield to me just feels like a life or death. We're not going to give away much kind of thing, and we're just going to have to be decisive and take our chances. That's what that midfield sounds like to me. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I feel like that midfield is very.
It's a good midfield.
It's a very good midfield. I think it's our best midfield. Honestly, if it blends, because Marino, in theory, is the guy that fixes the left side.
Yeah, I agree.
Whether or not Calafiori is there, just because he's left-footed, the dynamics just work better. Then we have Odegaard. We're not questioning him. We've talked shit about him already. Then we have Rice killing all transitions. And then we have a combination of the two in front of him, basically helping with build-up. Either Martin drops or Mikel Merino drops. So in my head, it really makes sense. I don't know why Mikel isn't in a hurry to get there yet.
Put it like this: it's the main issue why we haven't seen it yet is because we haven't had that whole midfield fit the same time that all of our fullbacks have been fit. That's what it is more than anything. Because whether we want to admit it or not, that midfield is gonna work with Calafiori and Timber, or Calafiori and White being fit, because the sheer volume of passes getting to Odegaard and getting to Saka will not be the same if we don't have that balance, and boxing that midfield with Rice and one of Timber and one of Timber or Calafiori kind of thing helps us maintain that. That's just the bottom line. So I personally think that's why Arteta is not doing it, like genuinely. And right now as well, not everyone's fit. Calafiori's cropped again for God knows how long. And Ben White has not been back for at least another 6 to 8 weeks or whatever it is kind of thing. So that's why I feel as if he's like, okay, I can kind of kill two birds with one stone if I don't need to invert my fullbacks as much by playing 5. But then I'm still going to need Rice to control transitions, basically. That's what I think is happening.
I don't know. I feel like Mikel should be in a hurry to see that midfield, just because he is so obviously he wants a passer in that midfield who's not just Odegaard. Like, he wants a passer at the base of his midfield, which is what we said. I think in the last pod we said that. And Declan Rice is not a passer. I mean, he can do an adequate job at it, but he's a carrier of the ball. Like, which is what you saw a lot of today's game. He was running up and down the pitch, trying to get forward. And I was just like, if you get Moreno on there, you have somebody who can sit deep but pass the ball adequately. Like, go, like, I don't need your help. Go, don't come towards me with the ball. Like, go run into the box. Like, I will pass to you. And Odegaard can't be the only person who does that, because Declan Rice does not do that.
Yeah. So there's my thing on that. I have no issue with hierarchy in midfield when it's like, this guy is obviously our best creative passer kind of thing. So let's get the ball to him as much as we can. I think all the good teams do that kind of thing. It's just who is getting the ball to that player, and how regularly can we do that? Because Odegaard is going to Odegaard regardless, kind of. He'll come deep for the ball kind of thing. But we all know he does his best work in the final third. That midfield is physically, it's fine. Athletically, it's fine. Technically, it's fine. Whatever else kind of thing. But there's just key nuances that could make it work, that we just don't have all of the pieces fit right now. That's the way I feel about it.
Okay. Well said, folks. I think, there's no actual conclusion to this. We don't know what the manager is thinking. And as Gabby mentioned earlier, that nigga lies a lot.
Can I ask you, just on Arsenal today and our form or whatever, like, this time last week, guys, I personally was still a bit shook up from West Ham for obvious reasons, but this time last week,
I hope that guy's okay, but
just like the brother Vlad TV back.
That's crazy.
But I personally was not even thinking about any sort of narrative about our over-reliance on set pieces, like, at all. It wasn't even registering. I just want us to be clear on how quickly things can change in football and how quickly narratives can just cloud judgment and shit. This time last week, in fact, Liverpool had won the league last week, guys. Then by Wednesday, the title race was back on. Then on Sunday, guess what? They won the league again without even playing, kind of thing. Things change so quickly in football, and narratives dictate a lot of how people feel. And I feel like it kind of clouds what the reality is, because a lot of it is confirmation bias. Like, worst fears coming true. And it's like, oh shit, one thing that lends to that theory that you're scared of happening kind of thing. It's like, all of a sudden, oh, it must be true. It must be happening. Like, Wednesday happened, and I personally was like, we scored 2 set piece goals because they shut us out through the middle kind of thing, but we found a way to win kind of thing. Like, this key thing is we found a way to win. Go on, Dean, sir.
So what's the question?
So the question is that genuinely, what is the feeling? What is the feeling today? Like, are we down on our luck that shit is definitely over, considering what we've seen just literally in 7 days? Or are we like, okay, today was very, very fucking shit, but let's just keep going?
Gabby?
To be fair, I said the title race was over a couple weeks ago. So this is not a switch up for me. I have said that the title race was over a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am far more optimistic. I didn't say that a couple weeks ago. I don't feel that way today. I think there's a long way to go. And because of the overall quality of the league, teams are going to have phases. Like we've had essentially what's a very inconsistent phase, between injuries, some bad luck with the refereeing, and just the schedules being brutal. I mean, we've played most of our difficult away games already. So we got that out of the way. I mean, it wasn't a perfect performance through those away games, but it's out of the way now. We don't have to worry about it.
Unbeaten in them, though.
What's that?
Unbeaten in them.
But yeah, I'm still fairly confident that we will be there when it comes time to hand out the medals in any competition, really. Gabby?
Actually, that's a. I have a question for you guys. Since you were talking about like the form of the league and over reliance on those set pieces, I'm less worried about our over reliance on set pieces and more worried about our inconsistent form against the lower opposition teams that we feel like we should be. We are better than. Do you think that Arsenal have this? Let's call it a narrative. Do you think they have this narrative that they raise or lower their play to who the opposition is? Because I actually do, which is why I think that our Big Six league table we're so good. We're at the top of that. We haven't lost a game to a Big Six team in a while. But
it feels like, I think at this point.
But when we play against who have we lost to this season? The Bournemouths or the Brightons or the Fulhams, those are always the games that we drop points in.
Coach, you want to go first on this one?
Yeah. First of all, I think Arteta is, out of everyone in the league, this is not biased, I feel like he respects not only all teams in this league, like he pays them all the greatest respect with the way he sets out his team kind of thing, but also he respects all phases of the game. Every single inch of the game he respects highly. And that bleeds into the players that he signs and the teams that he put out and the way that they play. Go on,
Pause on inches.
That was crazy still. But I feel like sometimes where his intensity sometimes can be a little bit suffocating. So it's like well, why are we treating Brighton or why are we treating Bournemouth or today Fulham like they're Man City almost? Not in the way that we play, just in the way we've made it an occasion. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason why on another Arsenal could have played this game again next week, kind of thing, the exact same way, and Jimenez doesn't even get that chance, and we win 1-0 or 2-0, kind of thing. It just feels.
I hear you. But to be fair, we did lose this game last season. So.
Yeah. I know, but and that's the thing. Like, I think it was about even a month ago. Again, things change too quickly. We were talking about, Dean, I don't know if you remember, how Arsenal will go like a goal or two up kind of thing, and then we're in that mode of, oh, do we go for more? Or do we just have what we hold what we have kind of thing?
Let's manage the game state.
You see what I'm saying? So it's just like Arteta treats all teams like that. When it's like, well, you've already got the first goal. They're shit. Go fuck up. Go finish them.
Come on, man. Stomp on these niggas, man. Like,
yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing is, it happened on Wednesday. They stopped us a little bit, and then second half we just upped it. We legit just upped it, kind of thing. So to answer your question, Gabby, no, I don't agree. I just feel like Arteta can make it appear that way because we're treating we're giving all teams the same respect that maybe some don't deserve.
Yeah, my theory on it is that every team in the Premier League is really good right now, and Arteta is right to be somewhat paranoid about the way he approaches
Except
game.
Southampton, they're ass. But go on.
They're shit, and they're going to be gone definitely. But even they have Tyler Dibbling, who, if he gets the ball in the right part of the field,
you're dead.
Can cause you serious problems.
You're dead, honestly.
Like back in the day, like 10 years ago, a team that has the points total of Southampton was definitely not offering you any kind of threat. That was a guaranteed put the 3 points in the bag, we out of here type performance. But I think at this point, every team is just so solid and can hurt you that I don't think the manager is wrong to be a little more paranoid about the way he sets up or the mentality that he uses to approach some of these games. But ultimately, I think it just boils down to the fact that in the bigger games, the bigger teams have some sort of onus or responsibility to try to get points out of the game. So that gives us more opportunities to attack them as well. Fulham did nothing today, and no one is going to criticize them for that. If we played the game that Fulham played, I mean, we played against City, a man down for 45 minutes, and held on for a point, and people acted as if Arteta turned into Mourinho. Like, that was a whole thing for a couple of weeks. So I just think these smaller teams, they have more talent, they have better managers, and they don't have the same pressure that the bigger teams face, and Arsenal suffers for that. Like, Arsenal plays the highest line in the league, but Arsenal also plays against the most deep blocks. Like, I watch these other games, like we started this during a Chelsea Spurs game, and that shit was a basketball game. You don't see those games against Arsenal. There are very few basketball games against. There are basketball moments, like the moment that Jimenez scored from today, but you just don't see a lot of those moments. And I think ultimately that contributes to us looking a little stodgy in these games against the mid-table teams. But who's a mid-table team anymore? Like, Fulham is a better team than Manchester United.
Yeah.
They're both mid-table teams, so it's tough, but we obviously should be doing better. Before we get out of here, we already touched on this a little bit, but Coach, you said we should rotate against Monaco. Gabby, do you agree?
I think we will anyway, even if I don't. I've made my stance on the Champions League very clear. Like, I want us to win those games, especially the teams that we probably should be winning against, so we can get at least a little bit of what do you call it?
A buffer.
Get in the top 8. So that buffer, just so we can get in the top 8, so we don't have to play that extra game or the extra 2 games. Right. I think we will rotate a little bit. I'm actually curious to see what Arteta does, because I don't think you can rotate that much with the amount of injuries we have in our back line. Yeah, and Monaco's some of those players are going to be playing. Yeah, I was like, some of those players are going to be playing regardless.
Yeah, Monaco's good as hell. They're not as consistent as they should be in the Ligue 1 right now, but they've been pretty good this season. We did beat them in preseason, and I think honestly, if we lost this game, I don't think it's a disaster. But Coach, to get us out of here, Everton, even if they rest for a year, they're coming to the Emirates. Like, we do what we do to Everton at the Emirates, regardless of who's out there wearing the badge, right?
Yeah, of course. I'm not concerned about it, but it's just like I try my best. Like, believe it or not, I really, 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 really try my best to go one game at a time, kind of thing. But immediately after Everton, it's Palace in the cup. Then it's Palace away at Selhurst Park, kind of thing. So it's just like, I'm just thinking about load management. I'm just thinking, I want these players to have the best opportunity each time stepping on a pitch to feel refreshed and energized. Basically, it's just like in my ideal situation, like between now and like, I don't know, mid-January, if we could just win games by the 60th minute, literally, I know it's going to be hard to Premier League, but be 3-0 up by the 60th minute, get everyone off. Just keep doing that. And that's what that ideal situation would be. I know it's not going to be that way, but let's try and blow teams away. Let's just try. Let's just try and blow teams away as quickly as we can. But it's not. I know what it's like. Like, no one's giving up the goods that easily. Like, everybody thinks they can get a point up, get points out of everyone.
Right. Right. So, real quick, pause on getting people off. And
I didn't even say that. I didn't even say that.
I actually hate you so much.
Hey, listen, we got to be extra childish, because this was not a result that made me or any of you happy. But at the end of the day, I think it's not a huge dent to our momentum, in my opinion. This is a fixture we lost last year with a much worse performance. And I don't know. Let me not get us out of here. There's still a little bit to talk about in this game. The disallowed goal, for instance. We all thought we'd won it at that point. Gabby, how frustrated were you to see that? Because Martinelli didn't even get advantage from being offside in that situation. And Saka finally scores a fucking header.
No, let me explain this to y'all. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see my face. Let me explain this to you. I'm watching this, and I'm just like, is this how Real Madrid fans feel watching Mbappe? Because why the fuck are you offside? Like, you're looking across the line.
Mm.
You're literally looking across the line. And there was nobody near you. Like, my head was on Pluto. I was just, and I just knew it was going to be offside. Because as soon as he scored, I said, Saka, you're a legend. You're a legend. You just came through for us. And as soon as they were like, up, it might be offside, I said, this is going to be called offside. Because it's just par for the course for Martinelli this season. And I was just like, I saw a tweet today that said, every time Trossard plays, I beg for Martinelli, and every time Martinelli plays, I beg for Trossard. And I was like, and that's the problem right there.
And maybe niggas need to stop begging. The problem is that niggas be begging and shit. Like, go get your own bag, nigga. Go coach your own team. Stop begging Mikel Arteta for shit. Coach, I said in the group chat after the Trossard for Martinelli substitution that I thought it was Mikel Arteta's worst substitution this season. Am I being dramatic there?
I think you are. I
thought it killed our momentum, honestly.
No,
I agree.
I'll be honest.
I think scored, and Trossard was doing bits up to that point.
I'll be honest with you. I think all our subs, to be honest, today killed our momentum. That's what the same way United powered down when they made their subs in the week. I feel like we kind of powered down when we made our subs, and not because the players aren't good. Maybe outside of Jesus right now, like I just feel like our momentum just kind of slowly but surely went. And yeah, Martinelli might have kicked that off, kind of thing, but slowly but surely, I wouldn't say we petered out, but we just weren't as, what's the word I'm looking for? We weren't as punchy as we could have been. I mean, Ranieri, looked decent again, I suppose. He had one really nice turn and shit. But we moved Rice back to the 6, right? And
it looked good. It looked good.
It looked good. It looked good, but that's when I was like,
it always does.
Okay. I was like, okay, if we're gonna do that, let's just start going direct. But then, how can we go direct when Havertz is not on the pitch anymore? Like, it was difficult. It was difficult for me to understand what the goal
plan was. Yeah. I didn't know what Mikel was doing there. It felt like he was just subbing people in to sub them or to manage minutes or some shit. Who chipped the ball to Jesus?
It was Rice.
I don't even know because my head was on Pluto.
When that happened, I literally got up to go grab my backpack because I wanted to stuff Jesus in there so I could walk him to Saudi myself. Like, you bitch ass nigga. Like, if you come on and you're not the starter, you need to be playing like you want to take somebody's job. He hasn't done that this season.
Do you understand that I've been adamant on the spot about how much I hate Jesus, but I have never hated, like, somebody tweeted about Lacazette and they said Lacazette has never been this bad, and I said I've never hated Lacazette the way that I hate Jesus. Well, I've never hated Lacazette the way that I hate Jesus.
I think you just expect more from Jesus than you did from Lacazette.
That's all it is.
That's really all it is.
Lacazette
was bad, yo. He was bad. This motherfucker was never in the box, and not because he was doing something good elsewhere, but because he was too fucking fat to drag his fat ass in the fucking box when the play had moved forward. And look at him now in Ligue 1, banging goals for fun.
I'm telling you that he defrauded us, guys.
I believe you now. I've seen some shit.
I'm telling you, he never sprinted for us, bro. Like, I don't understand. But I will say, just on the midfield again, Jorginho, I can't lie to you, every time he stepped in so far this season, I've just been impressed. And not because not because I didn't think he's a good player. It's just like, bro, where the fuck is the rhythm coming from? You haven't been playing, so
high football IQ.
Yeah, it's high football. It's high football IQ, but I also feel like it's a testament to how well he just keeps himself engaged, because it's easy for you to come to training every day, kind of thing. But if you know you're not playing on a weekend, kind of thing, it's almost like you're just like, oh well, if I get on, it's great. If not, this guy is ready. He's actually ready.
I think it's because he spends, he has not replaced Ramsdale as the ex-podcast leader in the group. So he's still on these pods talking all this shit. So when you pull up after talking shit, you got to show out, but jokes aside, I've been very impressed too.
I've been not surprised because I love Georgie.
It's just a rhythm thing, because there's plenty of players in this team, better, more talented than Jorginho, kind of thing. They would struggle for rhythm if they're out of the team. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, I have to give kudos to him. Genuinely. Yeah, of course.
Better, more talented.
Yes,
I feel like if you gave Georgie legs, like if you gave him Declan Rice legs, he would be genuinely one of our best players. Yeah, it's not close.
If you gave him Declan Rice's legs, he'd be better than Sergio Busquets.
This is what I'm saying. Like it's just one of those things. Like, everyone is complimenting each other because of their actual qualities that they do have, not the ones that they don't have.
But I mean, like, for Georgie, I'm thinking like not just attributes, because I know they did that video not too long ago on socials. Like, if you could take one thing from another player, a lot of people said Martinelli's pace. Of course, you're going to take physical attributes from someone else, but like if you had Georgie's IQ and someone else, like, you know what I mean? Like, he just,
Well, Saka
I'm
has
never
that.
surprised when he,
Saka has that sort of
exactly,
IQ in his position, I would say.
exactly.
I'll just say one more thing on Jorginho though. Yeah, the way that I viewed Gabby Jesus in the sense that we're gonna need him this season, like we're gonna need to rely on him, like especially to management and stuff like that. Jorginho is the one, guys. He is the one that's basically in a weird kind of way holding our season together, because if we can't play him when we need to rest people, kind of thing, what the fuck are we actually going to do? You see what I'm saying? Like
We'll be Tottenham, and we don't want to be Tottenham.
so yeah.
All right, guys. I think we've done enough for today. We've gone over an hour, which we rarely do. But come on, Gooners, keep your chins up. Stop being some bitch ass niggas. Like, pull your skirts down. Like, it's a long way to go. Liverpool still haven't had their blip yet. They're not running away with this. This league is too hard. You guys see it. We're a very good team struggling against other very good teams. Liverpool is
Don't
not
listen
better
to
than
him. We're in a farmers league. Pep won the league 4 years in a row.
us.
Ass.
And look at Pep now. See,
Listen,
see.
he was held
You know.
together by Rodri and ideals.
There you go. There you go. So it will be well. We will talk to you guys after Arsenal destroy Everton next weekend, inshallah. Anything else for you folks?
Yeah, just expect another instant reaction on Wednesday after Monaco.
All right.
And I can't stress enough, like, share, subscribe, threaten family members if they don't like, share, subscribing as well. Show it to them all. It's the Christmas period. Give them the gift of ripe raw plantain. Pause.
Yeah. No, we're not pausing that. They gotta
Follow us on Blue Sky as well.
Yes. And follow us on all the socials. Hit us up. We love when you guys reach out. At least they do. I have to say this because I'm the host, but y'all know I don't. Whatever. Anyway, I've done enough damage for the day. Thanks for showing up, my friends. And on that note, you know what to tell the people.
Peace.
Peace.
Hey folks, this is Dean from the Shirtless Plantain Show. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and follow us on all our socials. You can see them right beneath our recordings in every video. Thanks again, and see you on the next one.